Hi, I'm Neve from Season, and today we have a special guest, David Axtell from Axtell Food Safety. Let's talk about food safety. David, maybe you can explain to us a little bit about what courses do you offer?
Yeah, of course. So yeah, we do a range of food safety courses, like level one up to level four. The main one that applies to yachting is a level two food safety, and it's a standard food hygiene qualification that covers how to handle food safety, how to handle food safely. So whether you're a chef, whether you're a stewardess, anyone that's handling food, it goes through the basics of temperature control, how to prevent cross contamination, how to prevent pests. Um, Essentially how to stop people getting food poisoning. Um, but yeah, now we do it on Zoom, so anyone can log in and do it from wherever they are.
Awesome, amazing. I can say personally that when I was a captain, my wife was a chef. And this was always a hassle because this course you used to be like presented to be like an online course, but then you had to go and do the exam somewhere physical. And as being working on a yacht or moving around from place to place, that was always like a little bit pain in the ass. So I was so
It's,
thrilled
it's
to see that.
changed because of
Mhm.
COVID. So until COVID, MCA guidance was that it had to be a classroom-based course. They only recognised courses that were done in person. Um, and now this is the same course as before. What's changed is that at the beginning of COVID, the awarding body Highfield brought out a remote invigilation system so that people can do it from home. Um, but it's still a recognised qualification. So it's the same qualification that you would have done in a classroom. It's just that now you can also do it remotely, because when you do the exam, they use a webcam, smartphone, and a Google screen share extension so they could see if you were cheating when you're doing the exam.
Nice. Yeah, technology is catching up with
Mm,
with everything. Like we can do this interview on Zoom. Yeah, that's amazing, and it makes it so much easier to everyone to do these courses. It doesn't matter where we are in the world. So definitely
mm.
a huge
The
benefit.
main the main thing doing it this way, people need a reasonable internet connection. You have to be able to log in to do
Mm.
the Zooms and to do the exam. So as long as you've got an internet connection, as long as you've got a PC or a laptop, um, we do courses in all different times. So if you're in Australia, you can still find a course that's running at a time to suit you. You don't have to stay up until 2 o'clock in the morning. Um, yeah, we have four different time courses, so they suit all different time zones.
Yeah. Can you specify maybe a little bit about the NCA recognized part of it? What does it mean for people that don't really
Yeah.
understand the?
So um, anywhere you are globally, there's a general requirement that food handlers have adequate training. So if we take the EU legislation, there's a general requirement that anyone has food hygiene training, but it doesn't specifically mention a certificate. It just says training. So you can do any number of courses that you see online that are quite cheap. When you're working at sea, there's an MCA requirement that it has to be a recognised qualification. And what they mean by a recognised qualification is one that can be kind of shown to be trustworthy, basically. The reason they don't recognise a purely online course is that anyone could do the exam. So it could be your friend that does the exam. It could be your head chef that does the exam. When you do the exam with remote invigilation, you show ID, they're watching you while you're doing the exam. So there's no way at all of cheating. So the remote invigilation is part of it, but also it has to be a recognised qualification. So MCA have a list of qualifications that they recognise. They don't recognise some of these cheaper ones, which you'll find online, that will cost maybe £20 a person,
Hmm.
and it calls itself a level two food safety, but it's not MCA recognised. So it is important that you check where it's coming from. Is that actual qualification MCA recognised?
Yeah,
Um,
because then you'll come to the yacht and they would not accept basically your or the insurance would not accept your
yeah,
certificate.
no,
Mhm.
exactly. I had someone come to me recently, actually, who had done a course that they'd been recommended by someone on Facebook, surprisingly, that it was a really cheap course, good to do, but they went to apply for a job and then they were told that it wasn't a recognised qualification. So then they had to pay again to do the course with me.
Yeah, that's a
we
shame.
we have a lot of people that have done the course elsewhere, so it is important to double check it's a recognised qualification. Like the guidance is on our Facebook page, is on our website. It's just a simple list. You can Google it, but it is important to check before you book.
Just to clarify, MCA, we're talking about the Maritime
Coast Guard
Coast Guard
Authority.
Association
That's the one.
Agency, Maritime
Yeah.
Coast Guard Agency, and that is just the basic rules of regulations to any marine marine related work and environment
Yeah.
that is accepted worldwide. I'm just saying it for in case some of the crew here are just starting in the industry and kind of trying to figure out what they need to do in order to start. And if we go about that for some that don't know, so who is actually the roles and the positions that will need to acquire this course, basically, or to have this course in hand?
So it's very much going to vary depending on the size of the yacht you're working on. Any chef will need it. Level 2 food safety is a minimum. Really, any stewardess. It will either be a requirement for the job, or if it's not a requirement, it will be a very big recommendation. It would be a plus point when like when they're applying for a job. But also now I'm finding we're getting a lot of other roles that are doing the course just so that they've got a better CV when they're applying for jobs. So I've had quite a few deckhands that have done the course and that actually I want to be a deckhand, but I might take a deck stew position. And they think actually if they have this course, it's going to put them in a better position compared to someone else. So if you get a couple in yachting, and say, for example, I've had a few engineers do it, and their other half's been a stewardess, they're looking at getting a job together, but just so that they can take almost a job that comes up. He thinks, actually, I'll do the course just so I've got it, because it means I can help out with food service.
Yeah. So basically, if you handle food on board, you're going to have to need to have this course.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's first of all it's smart because we don't always realize that how important it is, and I think after COVID probably things are got a little bit more tighter in this, and people are a little bit more sensitive to those hygiene and anything related to food handling and all this stuff on board. So yeah,
that's also
very interesting.
one of the main is that if someone gets sick, whether it's crew, whether it's a guest, can we show that food's been stored, handled, and prepared safely? And so training records are a big part of that. If you can demonstrate that the people that were handling the food have been appropriately trained, yeah, that's part of your evidence.
Yeah, 100%. And okay, so let's talk a little bit about the course itself. So we said you have the level 2, or what is used to known in the industry as like that's how I used to know it. Food and safety, or food and hygiene level 2. That's like a common name for it.
Food hygiene level 2, food and safety level 2, level 2 safety, they're all the same thing, as long as the qualification you're doing is on that list of MCA recognised courses. So the actual course we do is level 2 award in food safety, but it's known by a number of names depending what part of the world you're from. So you've got level 2 food safety, which is the standard. That's like the introductory qualification. So that's for anyone that is going to handle food. But then depending on your position, you might look at doing level 3 food safety. So that's course more aimed at head chefs, chief stews. If you're working on larger yachts, there might be a requirement to have that.
It's just a little bit more in depth.
Yeah, more in depth. It's more aimed at a chef handling quite high risk foods, or if you're a head chef, so it's more looking at the supervising food safety. So it looks at HACCP in your food safety record keeping. It looks at the role of a supervisor in a food business. So we run that one as well, and that'd be suitable. As I say, if you're working on a larger yacht, I think For a ship's cook certificate in the Cayman Islands, you need a level 3 food safety as well.
Mhm.
So yeah, the requirements can be different depending on the size,
Yeah.
depending on the size and depending where you are. But yeah, we're
Yeah, so
getting more.
definitely, so I would say like if you're a stewardess or a chef starting out, definitely worth having this course, the basic level 2 course. If you are finding it as a career path and grow in size of the boats as a chef and the chiefs too, it would be highly advised to do the level 2, level 3
Well, you
courses.
offer like a discount when you come back and do another course. So
Mhm.
if you do food safety with us, you
Okay.
get a discount code for 15% off. So what a lot of people do is they'll do the level 2, almost like to get their first position or whatever, or so they've got that certificate, but then they'll come back and do the level 3 when they've got a
Mm.
bit more time. But
Okay.
again, puts you above other people.
Nice. And let's talk, and there's another option from what I've heard is about refreshing courses, right? Like that people
Yeah. So
go back and kind of like you do with the SCCW and like you do with other things at every few years.
no, exactly. So if you've got a chef, they may not be from the industry. They might have an existing food hygiene certificate, but it's not MCA recognised. Or if you've got someone in the industry and they've previously done a course, but it's recommended that you do a refresher every 3 years.
Hmm.
You don't have to do the full qualification again. You can do the level 2 food safety refresher. So it's a shortened Zoom session. It's an interactive workbook, and you get a module video for each section. Um, so it's mainly so you can work through it in your own time, and you can work through it like in any order. So you can have a look at a couple of modules one night. You can have a look at a couple of modules one daytime. Once you've been through it, we then do a short refresher session, and then we book the exam online. So then at the time of your exam, you just log in and do the exam. So that's a good way of doing it. If you're short on time and you haven't got like the full level 2 food safety, it's about 4 or 5 hours on Zoom. So if you're
Hmm.
short on time or you find a course, you can't find a time to suit you, the refresher can be a good option if you want to do a lot of it in your own time. But then we do a refresher followed by the exam.
Okay. Okay. Sounds. I think we covered pretty much the whole aspect, and if anyone wants to order a course, we will put in the description, so you'll have the link there, and you can just order your courses. And you guys have different courses throughout the season, right? So basically, you just need to
Exactly.
find the course that fits you, basically.
No, exactly. There's a calendar on our latest course dates page that has dates at the moment listed till September, but we're shortly going to add more dates up till January. You just click on the date that you want. If you book in advance, you can save 10% with an early bird ticket. So again, if you're busy at the moment in the middle of the season, it's always worth booking now. But yeah, then you can save 10%.
Amazing.
Um,
And if I can suggest, because I know how these things works, if you are looking for work, even for September, October, and for next season, Caribbean season, or whatever, it's really advised doing those courses now, because in September, October, it might be quite tight because everyone is kind of finishing the med season and want to kind of complete the courses. So I would definitely recommend doing the courses now and not wait until everyone is doing it and then you don't find your slots.
it's
So
worth booking in advance. I mean, we're fairly flexible. We do offer on-demand training as well. So if you needed it ASAP and there's not a date coming up, I mean, we normally have them about every 3 or 4 days, so you should find one. But if there isn't one that suits you, we do also offer on demand. So I'm doing one this
mm,
evening, doing a Zoom just for one person at a time to suit them. They need it really quickly. The
mhm.
only that the exams can only be booked 3 days in advance. So, as you were saying, if you do need it quickly, it is worth booking in advance because, yes, I can do a last minute Zoom session, but we still need to book the exam with Highfield. Then we need to wait for the certificate. They're generally quite a quick turnaround. So, normally we get the certificates on the same day that you do the exam. But Highfield do say to allow up to 7 days. And you don't want to be waiting for that certificate coming through if you've been offered a job. So where possible, it's always worth doing it in advance so you've got it in the bank. Yeah,
Yeah, those are top of the courses I would definitely advise everyone to just have in the bag and don't have to worry about it because they're always useful. So I
exactly.
definitely recommend.
Ex- yeah, as much as people tell you that it doesn't expire. So it doesn't matter if you do it now. It's recommended that you do it every 3 years, but that is only a recommendation.
Hmm.
So yeah, always worth doing it in advance, because what you don't want to happen is be offered a job, be waiting for it. I had someone the other day and they've been desperately chasing me up for their certificates. It's within the time that Highfield say, so there's nothing I can do about it. We'll try and chase it up, but it's quite
Yeah,
awkward.
I can say it happened to me and my wife when we were looking at the start, and we just couldn't find. I wish we had a course like yours, but we lost a job just because we could not find and we didn't have that. So definitely better to invest a little bit of in these courses and just and don't lose a job because of it.
Exactly.
Mhm. Great, David. So thank you so much. I think it was quite insightful, and I'm really happy it's possible now to do these things online. We all try to improve, and technology is getting better and better. Like season, we have the uh, digital management tools that hopefully help captains and crew do their job much easier and quicker. And now training is going that way as well. So that's
Mm,
really encouraging to see. The industry is moving forward. And I advise everyone, yeah, if you don't have this course, just register the description and the link below. And thanks a lot. Have a great season, everyone. That's
thank
it.
you.
All right.
Fantastic.